Hey guys, Motorola announced the Moto X yesterday, the new Moto X I should say. They didn't call it the Moto X Plus 1 or the Moto X2, just the Moto X. So I guess the Moto X 2014 will be the name for it. And yeah, this is the flagship device. They did also announce the new Moto G and Moto 360 smartwatch, which I'm personally excited about, although it's not being released in the UK until late October I hear, so that's a little bit annoying. In this video though, I just wanted to focus on the Moto X, the flagship device, and go through some of the specs and just give my impressions and thoughts about it. Now the video you're seeing right now is the official promotion video for the device. Personalization was a big factor on the original Moto X and it's here to stay on the 2014 version. For example, you can choose soft touch resin or wood finish like bamboo and walnut. They've also added a leather option as well, which no doubt will feel great, but I'm thinking it could scratch or mark quite easily. All the other unique features that the Moto X had are here as well, including some additional ones. For example, the screen now has infrared sensors on the front so that you can actually wave your hand over the device and maybe mute your phone or, have a look at your notifications. You still have active display, you still have the always listening mode as well, and of course it's running the latest version of Android, pretty close to stock, and it's also going to be updated to Android L when it's released. So here's a front-facing view of it, and I'm actually a fan of the design. It's similar to the original Moto X, but it does have some differences. The main obvious one is the device is bigger to accommodate a larger screen. It's gone from 4.7 inches to 5.2 inches. Now the body is actually a tad smaller than that of the Galaxy S5, which is quite impressive considering the Galaxy S5 has a slightly smaller screen as well. You'll also notice the speaker has moved to the front-facing position, similar to the Moto G, which is great. It's actually kind of deceiving though. It makes it look like it has stereo front-facing speakers, but the top grille is actually the earpiece. So you only have one speaker at the front, but that's still better than one speaker facing backwards. The frame is actually now aluminium, and something quite cool is it actually acts as the phone's antenna to help the signal strength. And of course the metal frame is also going to help with making the device feel that little bit more premium and solid in the hand. I mentioned previously about the infrared sensors on the front of the device. You can actually see them on the bottom next to the speaker on either side on the white model. You can't however see them on the black model, so if that's something that's going to annoy you in the long run, you may want to go for a darker colour. So if we check out the back of the device, the camera looks pretty different. It now has dual LEDs on each side of the lens housed in a ring. When the flash goes off, the light travels through the ring, creating a ring flash, which is meant to give a more even distribution of light among other things. As I mentioned previously, Motorola are big on personalization and they haven't skimped here either. There's loads of different colors you can choose from, different materials including wood and now even leather. In this image we have the Moto X 2014 on the left and the original Moto X on the right, and you can definitely see the difference in the screen size and the overall device size. The 2014 version definitely holds some similar characteristics. For example, you can see the curves on the corner of the device, you can see the front-facing speaker on the 2014 version that isn't on the original Moto X, and yeah, overall I just think the subtle differences on the 2014 version make the device look a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek, and less blocky than the original Moto X, so I'm a big fan of what they've done here. So if we look at some of the detailed specs here, Motorola are no longer using the X8 processor, they're now using the Snapdragon 801 clocked at 2.5 GHz and the Adreno 330 GPU. If you're wondering about the dedicated audio core that the X8 had, that's not really an issue. The Snapdragon 801 also has a core like that, so it can also do the always listening mode without killing your battery. The RAM is 2 GB, it has a 16 or 32 GB variant. There isn't an SD card, I know that's a deal breaker for some people, but it doesn't have one. It has a 5.2 inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1080p, and that equals a pixel density of 423. The original Moto X had a 4.7 inch display at 720p resolution and a PPI of 316, so that's quite a big increase over the original. In terms of the battery life, it has a kind of mediocre 2300 mAh battery. I say mediocre because top-end smartphones right now are coming with pretty much 2800 to 3200 mAh, and this is only really 100 mAh more than the original Moto X. Now, I'm not sure how well it'll handle that, especially considering we now have gone up in screen size and resolution. We'll have to wait and see though, because the original Moto X didn't have the biggest battery, but it had very good battery life. Now that could be down to software optimization or just the fact that it had a smaller screen and lower resolution. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the camera, it's gone up to a 13 megapixel camera with ring flash. It can also do 4K video recording if you want to. And the front-facing camera is a 2 megapixel camera with 1080p video capture as well. Now, these specs aren't exactly going to blow anything out the water, but the Moto X range has never really been about the spec sheet. It's more about being able to choose your colour, being a little bit cheaper than the rest, and mainly ease of use. It's one of the easiest and smoothest phones to use, and it pretty much runs stock Android with some useful additions that aren't gimmicks. Price wise, it's going to be $99 on contract and $499 off contract. In the UK, that'll be around £419 off contract, so not exactly cheap, but not quite high end bracket either. I'm sure this phone won't be for everyone, but there will be people out there that'll love it. Personally, I'm a little bit worried about the battery life. We'll just have to wait and see on that one, guys, but it seems like quite a decent upgrade over the original Moto X. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Peace out.